Back in 2008, The Incredible Hulk pushed the boundaries of what superhero movies could do. The Incredible Hulk wasn't just a superhero movie. It was a technical feat of filmmaking. Behind all the action, there's a story of creativity, teamwork, and some amazing techniques. And guys, in this behind-the-scenes breakdown video, we'll uncover the secrets behind its most intense action sequences, advanced motion capture, and practical effects that blurred the line between reality and CGI. So without wasting any second, let's start this video. Let's kick off the film's most daring behind-the-scenes video, where Bruce Banner jumps from a helicopter, hopping to transform into the Hulk mid-air. In the final cut, we see Bruce kiss Betty and leap heroically into the chaos below as Abomination rampages through the city. But in reality, this visually thrilling scene was the result of careful pre-visualization and smart set design. Before filming even began, the VFX team created a detailed animated blueprint, a pre-visualization that mapped out Bruce's movements and camera angles. Then, on a soundstage surrounded entirely by green screens, the crew built a life-size dummy helicopter. It's from this replica that Edward Norton filmed his iconic jump. The green screens ensured the sky and background cityscape would seamlessly added later in post-production. To simulate Bruce's freefall through the sky, the team attached Edward to a movable vertical rig, a rod system that allowed him to act out the fall realistically while suspended. The result? A convincing high-altitude descent that blended physical acting with digital magic. We then move to the Culver University scene, where General Roth comes on campus with his military forces to capture Bruce. As Bruce flees with Betty through the university grounds, the tension reaches its peak when he becomes trapped inside a glass-paneled footbridge. Soldiers launch smoke bombs inside, and the enclosed space quickly fills with gas. Bruce struggles to breathe, panic sets in, and then the transformation begins. To film this scene, the production team went all in. They custom-built the upper glass-covered footbridge set, as you can see in the BTS video, ensuring it could safely support the action and destruction to follow. And those swirling clouds of smoke? Not CGI. The crew used real practical effects, from smoke machines to dry ice and controlled explosive charges to create the choking environment that pushed Bruce to his breaking point. Remarkably, Edward Norton performed all his stunts himself in the sequence, adding a raw realism that made the transformation even more gripping. The action continues on the university grounds when a military helicopter explodes, sending a fiery blast dangerously close to Betty, but just in time, Hulk shields her from the flames. Behind the scenes, this wasn't left to digital trickery alone. The filmmakers used actual fire and real explosions to heighten the intensity. They prepped by assembling a row of dummy helicopter parts in front of a green screen. Then, using pyrotechnic techniques, the team blew them up in a controlled sequence and captured it all in camera. Right after the explosion, we see the Hulk cradling Betty in his massive arms. Of course, in reality, there was no towering green monster. Two crew members dressed in full-body green suits lifted the actress in a stage carry. This allowed VFX artists to digitally insert Hulk in post-production, seamlessly blending real performance with CGI muscle. Still in the same battle, Hulk's raw power is displayed as he smashes and hurls military vehicles. Surprisingly, this wasn't just CGI. This behind-the-scenes footage reveals real vehicles being crushed using practical effects. Heavy machinery was used to damage and flip the vehicles, which were later enhanced digitally to make Hulk's strength look even more menacing. Now, let's talk about the enhanced speed and strength of Blonsky, who is now a super soldier. Races across the battlefield faster than any normal human. To create the illusion of his superhuman sprint, actor Tim Roth was strapped into a special harness system. The harness pulled him rapidly across the ground while he simply performed exaggerated running motions. The resulting footage, when combined with visual effects, gave us the illusion of Blonsky moving at blinding speed. But capturing this perfectly took time. The crew filmed multiple takes to get the timing, movement, and realism just right. And what about all those insane stunts Blonsky performs? Flips, rolls, dodges? For all of his stunts, a professional parkour artist stepped in to perform the most of Blonsky's acrobatics. Every leap, landing was executed practically, giving the action a grounded, visceral feel. During scenes where Hulk shares screen space with human characters, there's a clever trick used behind the camera. A crew member carries a foam model of Hulk's face mounted on a long stick, positioned at Hulk's actual eye level. This isn't just for fun. These gave actors a physical reference point for eye contact. For example, when Betty looks up at Hulk, she's actually staring at the foam model. This technique ensured that lighting, shadows, and actor sightlines remained consistent, essential for integrating CGI later. This reference rig also helped create realistic depth, spacing and interaction between real actors and their digital co-stars. This simple but essential reference tool ensures that when Hulk is added digitally later, he looks like he truly belongs in the environment, properly scaled, accurately lit, and convincingly present. As we move deeper into the making of the Incredible Hulk, this behind-the-scenes sequence brings us face-to-face with one of the most critical elements of the CGI process: real-time facial motion capture. To bring Bruce Banner's emotional intensity to life through Hulk, the filmmakers began by placing a lot tiny motion capture markers on Edward Norton's face. Every marker was meticulously positioned to track subtle facial expressions, from deep heavy breathing to moments of rage and tension, including gritted teeth, snarling, and narrowed brows. During this process, Edward performed a variety of intense expressions in front of the motion capture cameras. These expressions weren't just random, they were the emotional blueprint for Hulk's face. In technical terms, this process is known as real-time facial motion capture, where every micro-movement, his ager, blink, and many more was digitally recorded and mapped onto the CGI model of Hulk. And as you can see in this BTS video, a digital Hulk that not only looks like a monster but feels like Bruce Banner, giving the character a very human core even in his most monstrous form. Once Edward Norton's facial data was captured, the next challenge was bringing Hulk's full body to life, a task that required both advanced technology and physical performance artistry. While Edward contributed to Hulk's facial performance, the full body movements were handled by professional motion capture performers. These stunt artists wore motion capture suits covered in reflective markers. Their physical performances, from explosive jumps to heavy ground mashes, were recorded in real time and then enhanced using manual keyframe animation to add exaggerated power and realism. But creating Hulk's nemesis, the Abomination, brought an even greater challenge. Unlike Hulk's rounded muscular design, Abomination was designed to be far more jagged, bony, and beastly. His appearance was meant to feel like an unnatural monster. To achieve this, motion capture performers once again brought the character's physicality to life. However, not all of Abomination's movements were natural. Many of them were hand-animated to enhance his unnatural monstrous vibe. In fact, some sequences like his aggressive walking style or the way his elongated spine twists during motion were manually animated to make him feel less human and more terrifying. The CGI team paid exceptional attention to detail. Abomination's skin texture, sweat, muscle flexes were crafted with physically accurate rendering, giving him that lifelike presence we see on screen. The spine, bones, and uneven muscle shifts weren't just for show. They were designed to unsettle viewers. Behind the scenes, crew members even assisted during mocap sessions, simulating resistance and weight to help create that heavy grounded movement we associate with Abomination's brute force. Meanwhile, all the car-smashing destruction we witnessed in the film wasn't left entirely to computers. Instead, the filmmakers leaned into practical effects, setting up a real outdoor location where they placed actual vehicles and physically destroyed them, crushing, flipping, and burning them on camera to capture that raw realism. The behind the scenes of civilians running, streets in panic, and overall urban chaos were also shot on real roads with real extras, giving the final battle an authenticity in crisis atmosphere, which you can see in this BTS clip. Later, using CGI compositing, all these elements from the motion captured monster brawl to the crushed vehicles and panicked crowds were seamlessly blended into one visually explosive sequence. And the result? An unforgettable final showdown we saw in the film where Hulk and Abomination tore through the streets like true cinematic titans. And that's how they turned Edward Norton into the Hulk and chaos into cinematic gold. But what do you think about this movie and its behind the scenes journey? Let us know in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this behind the scenes breakdown video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing movie making secrets.